We should be live now.
Okay, hi guys, welcome to another session of Mind Your Business. Today we are actually looking at the viewpoint of NHS staff and frontline staff. We've currently got two staff on the on our live today. So we're just looking at how the current pandemic has affected both spiritual and personal development of our NHS staff and our frontline staff. So I want you guys to introduce yourselves. Forgive us because we started a bit late, but I want you guys to introduce yourself and say what your roles are within the NHS. So Sanya, do you want to go first?
That's fine. Hi guys, my name is Sanya. I am a neonatal nurse. So as much as I work in NHS, I'm not completely like 100% on the front line because we haven't been affected that much by COVID. But yes, that's what I am.
Great. And Deidria, do you want to introduce yourself? Can you hear us?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, my name is Deidria. I'm a student midwife in my final year, and I've got 3 months to go until I qualify. So
Great.
That's what I do.
Great. Thank you guys for joining us. So it's going to be quite a short session today. We're literally going to just talk about how everything affected you and just some advice as well on what we should be doing to help you guys in your situation, or just to help NHS staff in general. So the first question is, why did you decide to become a part of like a healthcare worker? So for Sanya, you can go first. Why did you decide to become a healthcare worker?
I've always said it was placed upon me. So before I did my nursing, I was doing a business and marketing degree.
Okay.
And I got into my second year and I just stopped going to classes. It got boring to me. So I was just like, this is just not I can't continue. So I went to the career person that helps you decide and stuff. And she's like, well, you're in the second year. If you can choose a course, any course, and as long as there's availability, we can put you in it. So I was like, okay, cool. Literally got this prospectus, went down the list, saw nurse, and I was like, that one. I want to do that. So yeah, and I've always known that I wanted to work with children in nursing. No, adults, I can't do adult nursing. It's not my calling. It's not my calling. So I got my interview. During my interview, however, the nursing head of the Middlesex University I went to, she said to me that I can't go into children because I don't have the skills and the qualifications for it. So I was like, okay, fine, cool. I'll do adult nursing and then I'll just branch into children afterwards once I finish my third year. Yeah. But then lo and behold, when the acceptance letter came through the post, it said children's nursing. So I was like, whoop, whoop. You can't tell me what God wants me to do.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's how I got into nursing.
Okay, so that sounds like your calling. Was your calling? It was your calling disguise.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So Deidria, what made you get into being a healthcare worker?
So for me, it was a little bit different from Sanya. So with me, my mum she's a nurse, as you know. So every day she's come home, tell different stories, or this happened on her ward today, that happened on her ward. It just sounded like a good profession. But like Sanya, I can't really work with adults or it's not something that I really like, I guess, sorry. That I really like. And I always liked the idea of like midwifery, pregnancy. I didn't know I was gonna like it, so I thought let me just give it a try, see how it goes, kind of thing. So I did. This was also after my A levels, so I did an access course, didn't really learn much about midwifery. Then I started my course at university. I liked it. I found out I was good at it. I was good at the social side, the practical side. Yeah, I just really liked it. So I thought, why not? Let's just go along with it. And it's not really something that I've ever looked back on and said, oh, like, you know, I regret. Something that I like to do. I look forward to going to my job every day. Well, when I qualify anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were kind of inspired to go into it, to that career, basically, by your mom.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. So both of you have kind of been on the front line, whether you've been directly affected or not, but you both work in the NHS. So how has working on the front line now been compared to when you started your career path? So Sanya, do you want to go first? So how has working on the front line been now compared to when you first started? Has it changed your perspective on your career at all?
Okay, sorry. So my son is coming in the room now crying.
Okay.
It hasn't changed my perspective on my career. If anything, it's made me appreciate what I do even more. Knowing that there's someone out there that can help because of my skills and my job, it's a good thing. So it hasn't now that this pandemic or whatever they want to call it nowadays, it's out there. No, it hasn't changed. No, it hasn't changed my perspective. If anything, it's just made me appreciate what I do even more.
Okay, that's good. What about you, Deidre? Has it changed your perspective on the career that you've chosen, or like Sanya, have you started to appreciate a bit more?
Mine's definitely changed it, based on the fact that obviously myself, I class as a vulnerable person. So it's just changed. So at the moment, I'm not directly on the front. I'm not on the front line at all. So it's just really changed my perspective on like if I really want to do this based on the virus as a whole, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's just something that I'm just currently working on and like trying to figure out. I feel like I will complete my course. I've only got so long left, but it's got me considering based on the direction of wherever this goes. Nobody knows, like in a few months' time, in a few years' time, what's it going to be. As much as I love my clients and I would love to be there to support them, ultimately you have to make sure that you're well before you can do that. So based on the fact that obviously I'm vulnerable, it's got me reconsidering. But it would be sad if I had to give it up. But yeah, that's how I feel.
Okay, that's a different perspective. So you really love what you do, but obviously because of your vulnerability and this whole pandemic, you have to consider that as well, isn't it?
Exactly.
So how have any of your families or spouses responded to you working in a hospital during this whole pandemic? So has anyone been really concerned or just really impacted by your decision to work in that environment? Sanya, you want to go first?
Nope. So there's no one, because I'm in a family of NHS workers. So it's either, my mom works in the NHS, my sister works in the NHS. So yeah, we just say to each other, just go out there, be careful. If you have a mask, wear your mask. That be as protective as you can while you're in the environment. But yeah, no, there's no overly worrying or extra concern. It's at the end of the day, it's our job, and fortunately I'm well enough. I don't have any underlying issues that will stop me from going to work or anything. So yeah, it's just about being extra careful and doing more of the things that you normally do. So you're washing your hands more, which then leads to dry skin, but you still have to wash your hands more. So being extra careful.
And the fact that, I just want to ask you another question, Sanya. The fact that you're a mom, does it worry you obviously a lot more about the fact that all you guys working in the NHS and you obviously around kids, does that worry you a lot more, or is it not a worry to you?
When it
Wait,
began, when everything first came out, it was a slight worry, but now that it's progressed and it is where it is, I think I've gotten used to it. So I'm just extra careful. If I go to the shops, anything I buy in the shops is coming back home and it's getting cleaned.
Yeah.
As soon as I enter my house, like if I'm coming from work, as soon as I enter my house, it's a no touch zone. Don't touch me. And so I've been in the shower until I've washed my hands. So I've put those extra things in
place.
like as a precaution. So yeah.
Okay. What about you, Deja? How's family or family life been affected by affected by you working during the lockdown, during the pandemic?
I feel like I can get my mum to answer this one a bit better because obviously she's directly on the front ward and she works in the COVID ward. So I'll get her to answer it if you don't mind.
Yeah.
What was the question? Okay, she can hear you now.
Hello, Mom.
Hi.
The question was, how has family life been affected by you working during this pandemic?
Oh gosh. To be honest, it has been affected in so many ways that I don't even know where to start. I mean, we have seen where the curve has flattened, but like during the peak of it, it was so much so very, very emotional. And based on the fact that because I've been on the front line and then I had symptoms of COVID and I had to isolate away from the family and, you know, knowing that they're depending on me and, you know, trying to keep my family safe, you know, it's just been a roller coaster really.
And you're the main breadwinner, isn't it?
A lot of emotions and, you know, but at the same time, my family has been really, really supportive because I am the main breadwinner, but they've been really supportive and really understanding. So, you know, if it has affected my family because they don't know what to expect and, you know, they're very frightened, very anxious about me coming home and thinking, and I'm anxious as well, thinking, what if I give them the virus? Because you can't see it, you don't know where it is. You don't know if it's on your hands, on your clothes, or wherever. So, you know, it's and even now I'm still anxious. I work directly in a COVID ward, so I'm still anxious about it.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, I know everyone probably have different experience, but for me, it's just been a roller coaster really. But because I've got a supportive family, then, you know, it kind of lightens a little bit.
Yeah. And just one more question for you before you go.
Question. Yeah.
What advice would you give anyone that's working on the front line that feels as anxious as you did or still do? What advice would you give them in coping with everything?
Well, you know what? It's not as straightforward as it's not very straightforward because what you find is Public Health England will tell you to do this and then you're not comfortable in doing it. And I'm speaking from personal experience. So you just got to do what is safe for you. Just do what is safe for you and never ever assume that this person doesn't have it because anyone can have corona.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just be safe. Do what is safe. That's all I would say.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
It's not something that you can see. Okay, all right.
Thank you. Definitely. Yeah, your mom's really good. She's really brave because of everything as well. Especially working on the front line with everyone. Me personally, I'll be anxious. I go to the shops and I'm paranoid, like when I'm picking up my grocery, when I'm doing anything. So, you know, big up to your mom.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know, there's loads of like videos and loads of kind of misconceptions around COVID-19. Like what are some of the biggest like misconceptions you would say that you've heard around COVID-19? Like, do you think that people, like, you've heard something, you're like, that definitely doesn't happen, or that's not how you're meant to deal with the situation? Have you come across any of those misconceptions, and how would you address them? Sanya, do you want to go first?
I don't think I've come across any.
So the point of like wearing masks, for example, some people say you should, some people say you shouldn't. What are the kind of guidelines around that?
Well, at work, yes. So I completely wear a mask at work, because that's what we've been told to do, and that's like, you have to do it now. When I'm out and about on my daily duties, I don't always wear a mask. I get claustrophobic, and like I can't breathe. So for me personally, it's something personally I don't, and I keep my distance away from people. So I obey the social distancing rule. I do more than my 2 meters, especially if I don't have my mask on. But I don't think all masks protect you against it. Like there's some
the specific one.
There's some arguments to say it doesn't, there's some arguments to say they say it doesn't, and then it depends on the type of mask you have as well. So the mask I wear out is a friend of mine made it, so I have my own personal mask, so it's one that's made, so it's washable, and it's fine for me to wear. But like I said, I get claustrophobic in it, so I feel like I can't breathe at times, so I don't always wear it. But in that, if I've never been around anyone that has been coughing or has been sneezing or has been having like any of the symptoms that they say to look out for, I've never been around anyone like that while I've been out, for me to say, back away, or for me to move away, or for me to take extra precautions. But it kind of depends on where I'm going. If I'm just going to the local supermarket, then I tend not to wear my mask. If I'm going to like Costco's are the big ones, then I'll have my mask on, because of food and stuff. But in general, it's not an everyday thing for me, unless I'm at work.
Yeah. What about you, Deidre? Have you like, there's obviously loads of misconceptions and stuff around COVID-19. Can you offer us any like advice around stuff like that, about what we should be doing?
I don't think I'm probably the best person to be offering advice.
Or what you do personally.
From a healthcare perspective, anyway. When it comes to wearing gloves and masks, as Sanya was saying, I think it's just probably best to go by what the evidence is saying, as opposed to what we believe that we should be doing, what's right or wrong. So, for example, wearing a face covering, it doesn't have to be any specific mask, just to reduce the rate of, I guess you would say, reinfecting, or just reinfecting others. Just always assume that, pretend that you have the virus, for example, and you don't want to give it to anyone. That's what we all should be doing. And just making sure that when you do take them off, your gloves and your mask, not that we should be wearing gloves anyway, but just making sure that you dispose of them, because
Okay.
Thank you guys. I have an issue with gloves. So I have an issue when I go to the supermarket and I see you have on the same gloves, you're touching the money, you're touching the previous person that's behind me, you're touching everything with the same gloves on, not changing it. Personally, as I would do at work, if I'm wearing gloves, which I do have to do with each patient, I have to change in between situations, wash my hands, and then we gloves. So even if you're wearing gloves and saying you're protecting yourself and you're protecting us, no, you're not, because you're just harboring all that virus and bacteria on your gloves, and you're putting it on my food packaging. And I my food packaging. It doesn't make sense to me why you have gloves on in the supermarket and you're not changing in between each customer.
So you're saying gloves don't obviously make sense, because you're just reinfecting yourself, reinfecting like people, you're spreading the virus. If you come in contact with it, you're spreading it along different surfaces and stuff like that. So it's not effective gloves. Yeah.
There's no change in gloves in between the customers that
Sorry, Tanya, we can't really hear you. Hello?
Oh, sorry, can you hear me now?
Yeah, okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
I was saying that, like, because you're not changing the gloves in between each customer, the point of wearing the glove, it just goes out the window. There's no point. You might as well just serve me with your bare hands.
Exactly. And it also makes you forget to wash your hands as well. So you might as well just you know, be gloveless and wash your hands as regular as often as you can.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like when you
Mm.
have gloves on, you think you're being extra cautious, so you don't actually use hand sanitizer or wash your hands as much as you would if you don't have any gloves on.
Exactly.
And that's a really
Yeah.
good point.
Mm.
And I want to ask you,
And it
because
also
obviously, go on, sorry.
just another point as well. Where people often think that wearing gloves is very simple, like Sanya was saying, you put it on and you're safe, but it's not, because even in like my degree, for example, we get training on how to wear gloves and how to dispose of them, how to take them off. So it's not as simple as, oh, I put my gloves on and take them off and I'm safe. Like, we actually get training on how to use these equipment, basically. So it's not that simple.
Definitely. And people that are not knowledgeable of that would obviously just not dispose of it correctly, or just just
Exactly.
keep on reinfecting themselves. So because we're all you know, Black women as well. In the news, it said that Black ethnic group are more likely to die from COVID-19, right? And I've seen a lot of things online about it, and I've you know, seen people's outrage, and people are really like panicking about it. From what you've seen in your own roles, what do you think of this statistic? What's your view on
So
it?
personally, I don't. So I heard on the radio the first time last week when I was driving, and I was like, "Huh?" and I don't know if it's because we're more close knit as a community or as a family group, but I think in case of we're more likely to die from it or to get infected from it, I think in that case maybe it's because we're more seen on the front line. So if you're going to any hospital, anywhere frontline staff is, it's more of the ethnic background that you're seeing and not the other sides.
Yeah.
So I think in that sense, then yes, because we're in there and we're out there and we're in it, doing it, then yes, fair enough.
Yeah,
and we can come to
think,
like that.
I think that was my first thought when I saw it, the statistic. I thought that possibly because a lot of us are on the front line, then obviously we're more likely to come in contact with the virus and then be infected by it. Does that scare any of you when you heard that statistic? Did it scare any of you?
Nah, that's it.
Did it scare you? What did you think about it, Deidre?
It didn't really scare me, to be honest, because I don't know, it didn't really scare me, because I myself, I'm making sure that the people around me, because obviously I'm Black, most of my family, I'm making sure that, you know, they're okay, they have all the stuff that they need. And something that we also have to remember is that a lot of us, it's more than also just working on the front line. It's more socio-economic reasons. So, for example, we're more likely to live in areas that are deprived, and we're most likely to have underlying health conditions. So all these things are contributors to. You only can buy them in advance. All these things are all contributors to just poorer health, to be honest, and then getting COVID on top is not ideal. So it didn't really scare me, but I just, as a community, we just need to be aware and just to be alert. Not be alert. Be alert. Sorry, let me not say that. We just need to be aware of this and just take the necessary precautions. So
and I also feel like not being ignorant as well to what is going on, because definitely. I think some people are taking it very lightly, while obviously you guys are experiencing the realness of it, working in that kind of environment and seeing people affected by it. And I don't think some people really, because they don't see every day, it's not a reality to them, so they're very ignorant to it. Yeah, definitely. So I think it's just about educating yourself and taking the necessary precautions as well. And that takes me on to like my second to last point of question I'm going to ask. Obviously, there's been loads of like the death rate is like shown daily on the news and things like that. Me personally, I don't watch the news because I just feel like it gets me to this depressive state where I'm thinking, oh my gosh, all this is happening. So I kind of avoid the news. And I think that if anything really major happened, I will know it because people talk about it. So how do you guys do? That was my way of dealing with like the whole death rate and the whole like everything that's happening? How do you guys deal with it so it doesn't drain you emotionally, seeing the amount of people that are dying and hearing about it? How do you guys deal with that on a daily basis? Sanya, do you want to start?
So I'm the same. I'm struggling to hear you guys a little bit.
You're struggling to hear us?
Very, very low. So I'm literally had the phone stuck to my ear. I don't know what happened. It was fine, and then there. But for me, I'm like you, Javona. I'm not a news watcher.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at my mom's at the moment, so the news is on. As long as she's in the house, the news is on constantly, 24/7. And I'm just like, don't you get fed up of hearing the same thing over and over and over and over again? Like, I don't want to be hearing, 625 people died today, 471 died yesterday, this. I can't now. It's raining, and I'm like, I tune off. I don't watch news, but it does the daily number people have died or whatever it is, it pops up on my phone,
Yeah.
and I will see it, don't read it. So I don't purposely go into it and click the link to read the full information of what's there. I just see it on my screen, and then I'm like, okay, cool, thank you. Swipe left, it's gone. But yeah, I don't watch the news to get the information for it.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. What about you, Deidre?
I think we have to be careful about what we decide to. Oh, I'm echoing. Sorry. About what we decide to consume, because like you said, a lot of if you do watch the news constantly every day, it's not good for your mental health. So personally, I do watch the news, but I wouldn't say I watch it every day, and I don't religiously take in everything that I see. But yeah, I do keep up to date. Yeah, just not every day, because I mean it does get quite distressing.
Yeah.
Really, yeah.
Are there any like coping mechanisms that you guys like do at work or within your teams to ensure that you're not taking all of the like baggage home, like emotional baggage home, or just thinking about it constantly? Is there any like positive things that you guys do at work that help you with that? Sanya? Hello? Deidre, do you want to take that question? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I was I was asking my mum what she does. So
Okay.
because sorry, my headphones just fell out.
It's all right.
Sorry, I was just asking her what she does, because obviously she's more affected by it than I am. So mum, do you want to answer that question? Hold on. Can you hear her?
Yeah.
No, I can't hear anything.
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, here you can hear now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was
What's
asking,
your
what
question?
positive, what things do you do to make sure you don't take home all the like emotional baggage that from like seeing everything that happened on the front line? What do you do for yourself?
Well, to be honest, I was always a positive person, and I don't let things get me down. To be honest, I just think if I have to deal with it, I just deal with it. And when I go home, I leave work at work. I don't take work home with me. But I know everyone's the same as me. But if someone and that is affected by COVID, really, the advice I would give is oh, I lost them. The
No.
advice I would give is to, if you're suffering, there is help out there. There is help available. There are lots of helpline. I don't personally know any from my head now, but there are a lot of help available if you're suffering, because I know a lot of people will have what we call company term, but a lot of people will be stressed about what's going on, and when you see people actually dying in front of you, there's nothing you can do, but there is support. There's a lot of support. You can join support groups, and don't be afraid to speak to friends, people, family, and you've got your GP as well. And if you're a healthcare worker and you work on the front line, there's always occupational health that you can speak to about your health and wellness. So
I don't know if you have this in nursing, but we have a thing called professional midwifery advocate, and they're quite good at counselling and talking through issues and stuff. We have that.
We don't, but we do. Also, we do have a Black ethnic minority group in our hospital as well, which is quite good. Yeah, so it's just about finding the right contacts. But on the internet, especially at work, there is a lot of different um, charities as well that is helping people with their mental health. So
Yeah.
as for me, I wouldn't say it affect me mentally because I'm used to seeing people dying, So
Yeah.
maybe it
not
might
that
affect me later on, but for now,
Yeah.
it's quite emotional. But
Mhm.
I'm okay.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And just one last question. Obviously there's been like lots of claps for like the NHS at 8 p.m. and everyone's joining that whole hello?
Sorry.
Can you hear me?
Sorry.
Yes, all right. Now I'm saying obviously there's been lots of claps for the NHS at 8 p.m. and stuff like that. So obviously that's all good and well, but what other things can we do to personally help you guys out to make it easier, make your jobs easier? Is there anything that you would say that we can do to make your jobs easier and at all?
You know what? I really appreciate the public clapping for us because that's their way of saying thank you and we appreciate it. But when it comes down to it all, it's all about government really. And, I don't want to get too political really, but
Yeah.
it's all about what the government is going to do for us because obviously clapping isn't giving you PPE, clapping isn't keeping you safe. So it would be good and well. The clapping is all good and well, but at the end of the day, how long are we going to clap for? What are we going to get from clapping? As I say, it's your way of showing appreciation, but the government must need to show us appreciation more. And, for what we stand for, it's really, really bad that it takes a pandemic for them to see how hard we work and to appreciate us. It's really, really bad, but hopefully, I'm hoping that, at the end of it all, we'll all be appreciated. Yeah.
Definitely.
But yeah, and sorry, and as you said, what can you guys do to help? As they ask you to just go out when it's necessary, yes, and just stay at home because some people might think, oh, I don't care, I'm not going to get it, I'm young, blah blah blah. But it's about you might have it, it might not affect you, you might not have symptoms, but then you can pass it on to someone else. So staying at home is the best thing to do, really, and washing your hands. When you go to your house, make sure you remove your shoes. Your shoes don't go into your house, and even those clothing that you wear outside. When you go home, you should my clothes go straight into the washing machine. But before I touch anything, I make sure I wash my hands because you can't see it, you don't know where it is. So that's my advice.
Thank you for that.
Okay. Good advice, Mom.
Bye. Yeah, I think that's really, really good advice. And thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for giving us some really good advice and giving us some good insight. Sanya, the question was as well, what more can we do to help you guys that are working in the NHS to make your jobs easier? If you're hearing us. I don't think she's there.
I heard that just
okay.
I'm literally, I don't know what's going on. I can't hear anything. But I heard your question.
Yeah.
Personally, I think there's been quite a lot that the community and the government and the shops and stuff have been doing. For me, one of the main things at the beginning was shopping. So even though I bought by anyways, there were still certain things I didn't have in my house, and trying to get to the shop was a myth. It was just not happening. The queues were too long. So I think the hours that they've been put out for NHS workers.
Sorry, one moment, Sanya. Deidre, can you hear Sanya?
Yeah, I can.
Okay.
Let me just mute my
finish. Just to still show that support. Yes, the 8 o'clock clap-in on Thursday it's encouraging, but that's all it is. It's encouraging. So that don't let it be just a pandemic thing. Just continue to show appreciation for what we do, not just when there's a crisis. So yeah, that's
yeah.
Hope you can hear me because I can't hear. I can see your mouth moving.
No, I can hear you. What I got from what you said, definitely like just continue to show appreciation. Like it doesn't need to like stop with like the clapping. There needs to be appreciation all throughout. Obviously for everyone that works in the NHS, because you guys do a lot, and it's a lot going out there every single morning, and the workload and everything, you know, it's unbelievable. So I definitely take my hat off to you guys, you know, and I definitely think that we should be all doing our part to make you guys' life easier, because you're going out every single day. You're going to you're putting your families at risk, so we can stay at home and we can be, you know, safe. So thank you guys as well for joining our chat today. I hope everyone watching gained some more insight, or, you know, even just gain more knowledge about something. And yeah, I'll see you guys
Can you go and find this?
soon. Stay
Okay.
safe.
Okay, you too. Sorry that I'm in the
safe.
supermarket.
No, it's okay. Thank you for joining us. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.
Okay,
So
Bye,
Shane, what's in
Tanya.
front of
bye.
us?
Sorry?
Excuse me. Hello.
Bye.